Hello, my name is Matthew Finland, and today I'm so excited to share with you the masterclass, Healing Your Sales Trauma That's Blocking Your Abundance. Spiritual entrepreneurs can master sales and business without feeling like they're resorting to emotionally manipulative sales tactics that are out of integrity with their values, without feeling like they're relying on canned tactics that make interactions feel inauthentic or slimy. Spiritual entrepreneurs can master sales and business without being blocked by their wounds around selling, feeling limited by subconscious beliefs that create self-sabotage, or without having to be pushy, insistent, or apply pressure to your prospect in aggressive, overly assertive ways. Business and sales is spiritual and is supposed to flow with aligned integrity. Many of us feel that we have gifts that we've been called to share with the world. We see the pain, suffering, and struggle of others. We see the limitations and oppressive nature of the old world structures, and we are called to make a difference. And yet, those same people, those same well-meaning people, are blocked entirely from ever bringing their gifts to the market, reaching the people they're meant to serve, and instead of experiencing the abundance that they deserve, they live in a state of impoverished fear and lack. And that's not anyone's fault, because you have been conditioned to internalize lies about business, and you suffer from unresolved sales trauma blocking you from your success. And nobody's taught you how to heal it until now. Some of the most powerful, loving, skilled, caring, spiritual entrepreneurs, coaches, and healers are broke, and I know tons of them. What you're going to learn today is going to equip you to transform your limiting beliefs into a powerful, aligned, integral relation with spiritual sales that brings you more abundance, opportunity, and authentic connection with the people you're serving or trying to serve. If you've thought, there has to be a better way. There has to be a way that I can sell my products and services without feeling pushy, manipulative, or out of integrity, you're right. And I'm going to show you what that is today. By the end of this webinar, you're going to learn the exact framework I use to shift the internal paradigms that people have around sales, and how to overcome the limiting beliefs that are blocking your birthright to abundance. The same methods that I've used to help hundreds of people learn how to communicate and convert with integrity, helping them bring their gifts to the people who really need their medicine. And if you watch till the end, I'll share my Clearing the Shame of Sales framework to help free you from deeper internal blocks around abundance. First things first, shut off your notifications. I'm not overstating it when I say that the next several minutes could entirely change your life and alter the way that you view sales forever. You're here because you're dedicated to sharing your gifts with the world. And to do so, you have to overcome your blocks around this thing called selling. So quickly take a moment to close your other browser tabs, shut off your notifications, and tune in as closely as you can so this information can really land. I'm going to give you a few moments to do that. Shut down those browsers, turn off your notifications. It's only going to be a few minutes of your time. Okay. If you need more time, you can pause the video. At this point, you might be wondering, who the heck is this guy talking about sales trauma? Is he trying to sell me something? Hint, I absolutely am, but only if you feel that you need it. Why should I listen to him? My name is Matthew Finland, and I've been in the game of sales for over a decade, putting in well over my 10,000 hours of mastery, with every type of sale from door to door, over the phone, direct to consumer, in boardrooms with very wealthy people, and much, much more. Not only that, I've trained hundreds of people to learn the skills that make them into multi-six-figure income earning salespeople, because I hired them on my team. Okay, that's the sales side. Where's the spiritual part come in? I'm also one of the spearheading co-founders of the Human Potential Academy, a collective that is seeking to bridge the gap between the worlds of the spiritual and the material, the old and the new, the cosmic, and the societal. So I started in sales. Look at this guy here. Guy's trouble. My beginnings were at the age of 21, training door-to-door sales teams. I developed large teams and I consistently broke sales records. I ended up training teams a few months into my sales career. So I've been training people for sales for well over a decade now. I quickly realized that no one knew basic sales techniques and I was using, and the dangers of the ignorance around these. Not knowing these sales techniques and how easy it is to just come in and use them on people, I saw how dark and manipulative things could get because I was really good at it. I became obsessed with the human mind. I still am, both neuroscience and psychology. I learned that by helping my teams with their mental, physical, and relational health, they became far better salespeople. I wasn't just teaching people how to do sales. When I was doing that in the beginning, people were terrible at sales and they quit. But when I was teaching them how to have a healthy mind, strong body, good relations, they began to sell really well and they stuck around. Due to financial illiteracy, despite making lots of money, I ended up deep in debt. I was making a lot, I was spending a lot, I didn't know about taxes, blah, 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 blah. Brutal. My turning point. I began to see multiple overlaps in the Bible, Taoism, ancient Egyptian understandings with neuroscience, psychology, physics, biology, chemistry. I underwent my own deep plant medicine journeys, were incredibly transformative to me, still are. I was inspired to follow the irrational, illogical, emotional voice of my intuition, and it consistently led me to statistically unlikely wins. I stopped drinking alcohol and quit hard drugs completely. I started exercising every single day, unlocking my mental discipline and my physical excellency. I began combining all of these practices, and I noticed massive increases in energy and attracting epic people. Your outside world reflects your inside world. I founded the Human Potential Academy, and this is where everything really started to change. I recognized that all of the talents I had acquired in the realm of sales, psychology, social sciences, they weren't inherently evil. And that by knowing these things, they couldn't be used against me. Someone tries to use a sales tactic on me, I see it coming from a mile away. Someone tries to be manipulative, I already know that game. I see it from a mile away. Then I began to see many, and I still see this, many spiritual entrepreneurs and healers struggling financially. It's brutal. So brutal. I started specifically coaching spiritual coaches how to improve their businesses and get sales. This also ended up being a lot of relationship development. A lot of the times when we enter into doing a sales practice, it's when our traumas come up, and our traumas are from our deepest relationships. I ended up attracting the friends and business partners of my dreams. Oh my goodness, so blessed who I'm surrounded with right now. Since then, I have empowered dozens of spiritual entrepreneurs to take their business and their sales to the next level. Some directly through working with me, others just from witnessing what we've done. Then I took action. My life's mission became to bridge the worlds of business and spirituality, creating a space where they not only coexist, but they thrive together. My journey began with a simple realization. The gifts we hold within have the power to change the world, but sharing them often means navigating the challenging terrain of business, a world where spiritual values can sometimes feel very out of place. This realization led me to found the Human Potential Academy, a movement dedicated to empowering individuals to share their gifts with the world while honoring their spiritual values. I believe in doing business with integrity, where success is measured not just by profits, but by the positive impact we make and the alignment of our work with our deepest truths. And newsflash, you're not going to have a very large positive impact if you can't convince people to listen to what you have to say. My approach to sales and business is unconventional. I see sales as a sacred exchange, an opportunity to connect and serve. It's about opening doors, not just closing deals. At Human Potential Academy, we teach entrepreneurs to lead with their hearts, ensuring that every business decision and every client interaction is infused with compassion, authenticity, and a deep sense of purpose. I started Human Potential Academy to be a catalyst for change, to show that it is possible to succeed in business without compromising our spiritual ideals. It's more than just a training platform. It's a community of like-minded souls committed to making a difference, driven by the belief that our businesses can be a powerful force for good in the world. If you're ready to overcome your own blocks and if you're ready to overcome your own blocks and self-sabotaging subconscious beliefs around sales, then you can follow the exact system I've used with other spiritual entrepreneurs that I'm about to lay out in this masterclass. Close your eyes and imagine this. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. Do a double breath with me. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. A little more. Hold it. And let out a sigh. Connect to your breath. Imagine that you have a calendar full of calls that you're actually excited to take. Imagine you have an inbox full of messages from happy clients who are so happy that they got to work with you. And imagine you have a bank account that reflects the abundance you've brought to others' lives. Multiple zeros. If you had the things that you just visualized, how would it make a difference in your life? How would your life be different? How would your programs be different? Would you be able to serve better? And how different is it from the reality you're living in right now? You can open your eyes. Okay. Are you ready to learn how? Let's begin with our masterclass. What we're going to cover today. Number one, the different ways we are conditioned to resist sales and business and the primary sources of what I call sales trauma that block spiritual entrepreneurs from the abundance and service that they're so deserving of. Number two, a new paradigm of spiritual selling, where sales conversations can be had with integrity, service, and alignment every time, leaving both you and your prospects feeling great. And certainly you're not going to feel slimy. Number three, understanding the fundamental skill of sales and selling and how this can be reframed into positive, empowering experiences instead of emotionally manipulative sales tactics. Okay, let's get started. What is sales trauma? Sales trauma creates a fear that charging for your services will in some way harm your prospect, or that when you sell something, you are manipulating someone into doing something that they don't actually want to do. Look at this guy on the side. This will create a sense of dissonance and uneasiness in your system when you try to sell, because you are always going to feel fundamentally out of integrity with your own values. 9 times out of 10, you will have sales trauma because you or your loved ones have been on the receiving end of a slimy salesperson who had the gift of the gab and was able to convince you or your loved one to spend money that you or they did not want to on something that you or they did not want or need. So you have sales trauma because you've been finessed. You got closed. Someone used their sales tactics on you and it worked, and you either didn't want to pay for it, but you got pressured into it, or it was a crappy product. Salespeople have a notoriously bad reputation, and this is honestly for good reason. The underhanded tactics of verbal manipulation is a large part of most people's traumas these days. There are multiple ways to be a victim of sales trauma. Being sold something you don't want, hundreds of uncomfortable encounters with pushy salespeople. You yourself being a slimy salesperson in the past. Hello. Usually these days it's from joining an MLM. You join an MLM, they give you all these crappy tactics. You go out, you use them, you lose a couple friends, a couple family members tell you to get lost. Being told that the skill of persuasion and convincing someone is the same as manipulation. There's a huge difference. Being exposed to cringe-worthy, fear-based selling tactics. The fact we are not completely the fact that we are completely saturated by marketing and living in a transactional consumerist culture and not wanting to be perceived as a taker, which is a big problem for all of us right now. We're trying to get our services out there, but we're not trying to look and be a part of this transactional consumerism culture. Self-worth issues and imposter syndrome, usually childhood wounds. Being sold a useless product and fearing that your product is also going to be useless and not help. Being told that people with lots of money are the problem and why the world is damaged. A negative perception of wealth and wealthy people. Very common. You want money. You want to attract money, but you look at people with money like they're evil and you label yourself as a good person. The equation doesn't add up. Fear of reputation destruction. This is probably the biggest one. Not wanting to be perceived as a salesperson always peddling products and services for money. How we're conditioned to resist abundance. There are several ways that we have been conditioned to consciously and unconsciously, subconsciously resist abundance. From childhood, we have been conditioned to work hard, not smart. The school system has been designed to create 9-to-5 workers. Think about it. You go into school, clock in for a few hours, small break, few more hours, lunch break, few more hours, go home. Sound familiar? 9-to-5 job. We are programmed to be workers, not successful entrepreneurs. We are not even taught the fundamentals of money and finances at all in the modern school system. There's lots of learning, unlearning, and relearning to be done in this arena. From the social justice perspective, and this is huge, pay attention to this. There's something called a zero-sum game, okay? The zero-sum game mentality that we have been led to believe by social justice leaders, that as the rich get richer, the poor get poorer. This is simply not true, and you can look at this graph. While the rich are getting much richer, it is worthy to note that the poor are getting richer also. Making more money is not part of the problem. In fact, not making more money is. When the rich get richer, the poor get richer. This is a topic of deep reprogramming for many people in the spiritual and healing space. Okay, number 2, how these beliefs affect your vibration. When you are constantly thinking about money or your upcoming expenses, this dramatically affects your energy. There are many ways that you can conceptualize or frame why you are unable to remain in a higher vibration. And I know that this is going to be speaking to most of you directly. You're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. Your root chakra is out of balance. From Maslow's hierarchy, your safety foundation is gone. The foundation, it's out. From a neuroscientific standpoint, your limbic system is activating your survival state, shutting down your executive functions. From a quantum physics standpoint, law of attraction, the idea that like energy attracts like energy suggests that focusing on lack or scarcity attracts more of the same into your life. Mindfulness and meditation. These practices emphasize being present in the moment without judgment. Worrying about finances is a projection into the future that detracts from the present. So these are all the exact same thing we're talking about. Lack of money, lack of root chakra, lack of safety foundation, survival system activated, thinking about these things, so attracting them. You understand this if you're watching this video. All of the aforementioned have these effects: fatigue, anxiety and fear, insecurities, depression, anger and irritability, materialism. This is a sneaky one: overcompensation for feelings of insecurity by overly focusing on accumulating possessions or wealth. Aversion to change. You're in a fear state. So you have resistance and fear to change due to the deep-seated need for stability and security. Difficulty in letting go. Maybe it's relationships that you need to let go, but you're clinging on to them for safety purposes. Feeling unrooted, and a genuine lack of trust. How these beliefs affect your sales conversations. If you are suffering from the social conditioning and or the lower energetic frequencies of fear and lack, then your conversations and overall demeanor are going to come across as lacking in confidence and or desperate. This is going to sound familiar to a lot of you, I know. When you are selling products that are going to improve people's lives, it is imperative that you are viewed as an authority figure in the field, an embodied leader of your craft. Seeing that most of our clients are coming to us for nervous system regulation, relationship or trauma counseling, and or entrepreneurial guidance, if you are not embodying all of these, then it will be clear to your client and intuitively sensed subconsciously, aka you're not going to close the sale. Keeping in mind that 93% of communication is done through body language, energy, and tone, if you are shaky in these arenas, then it's likely you are constantly lowering your prices out of desperation for money or out of guilt for the client, aka you're not charging what you're worth. I bet most people watching this are doing that. If you are shaky in these arenas, then it's likely you feel out of integrity, so you won't speak with clarity and confidence. This will create justifiable distrust for the person you're speaking to. You're going to come across as needy and creepy, begging, instead of confidently offering your value. And you're going to fail to communicate the value and confidence in your product, which will prevent the person from going all in and getting the benefit from your product or service. If you don't have confidence, how can they? So now that we understand how you've been conditioned to resist your own success and abundance, how can we reframe to start selling with integrity while keeping our spiritual values intact? Okay, the first paradigm shift. Sales is effective communication. Sales is not just sell me this pen. What does it actually mean to sell? Have you ever been in a conversation where you're trying to teach them of a new idea or concept? Have you ever been in a conversation with a romantic partner or family member trying to convince them to do something positive for their health? Have you ever applied to a job to display why you were the best person for the position? Have you ever engaged in a conversation with someone and tailored your approach to make them feel safe? Well, guess what? You're selling. That is sales. A requirement for high-level sales is empathy. Paradigm shift 2. Sales is service, win-win. Referring back to the zero-sum game mentality. The belief that many people have is that when someone is giving them money, they are taking money from them, leaving the person at a deficit. A zero-sum game is when one person's win is exactly equal to another person's loss. The total amount of wins and losses in the game always adds up to zero. So if someone gains something, someone else must lose something of the same value. Such scenarios are often used in competitive settings where the success of one party directly results from the failure of another. Examples of zero-sum games include chess, poker, trading activities where one's financial gain corresponds to another's loss. How is sales a win-win? Sales is a win-win situation in our sphere because you are being compensated adequately for the years of expertise and efforts that have gone into fine-tuning your craft. And what about your client? They are receiving the services that they desperately need to break free from whatever trauma cycle they are stuck in. No one is at a loss in this equation. All parties are at an extreme gain. Paradigm shift number 3. Sales is coaching. Coaching is sales. Sales is healing. Healing is sales. Guiding an individual towards enrolling in a coaching program is an act of empowering them on their journey to self-improvement and self-awareness. This process transcends the mere act of selling a product or service. It's about opening a doorway to personal transformation. Encouraging individuals to invest in themselves is not just about promoting a transaction, but about supporting them in overcoming self-doubt and affirming their own self-worth. This commitment signifies a deep belief in their ability to change and grow. As a coach or mentor, your role is to guide and illuminate the path to healing and empowerment, helping them to see beyond their limitations and embrace the possibilities that lie ahead. This initial step of investing in a coaching program marks the beginning of a transformative journey where they learn to navigate challenges with confidence and embrace their potential for personal evolution. In this light, enrolling in a coaching program becomes an act of self-love and a statement of readiness for change rather than a mere financial decision. It's about stepping into a future filled with growth, challenging old narratives, and unlocking new horizons. As a facilitator, you're not manipulating. You're supporting a pivotal moment of growth, guiding them towards becoming the best version of themselves. With these new paradigm shifts, what do you need to learn to master sales with integrity now? Skill number 1. Building rapport, trust, and safety. Building rapport, trust, and safety in coaching is crucial because it creates connection. This makes clients feel comfortable and open to suggestion. It establishes trust. Clients believe in coaches' advice and feel confident in following the recommendations, including purchasing coaching products. Building rapport, trust, and safety in coaching is crucial because it ensures safety. The clients feel safe to share their true selves, enabling tailored and effective coaching. This facilitates communication, which leads to a better understanding and customization that the clients need. It boosts their commitment. Clients are more committed to the coaching process and actually achieving their goals. Trust me, they're going to follow through, which is a big struggle with a lot of coaches. Their clients don't follow through. And it promotes success. This lays the foundation for long-term growth and achievement. In essence, these elements are key to making coaching relationships effective and helping clients succeed. What this does is allow for a sale to occur from a place of authentic connection and genuine relationship. Rather than treating the human in front of you like a number, dehumanizing the experience, you get to experience more success through demonstrating more care and connection. This is a radical shift that allows for a more positive energy exchange where you're focused on the connection and well-being of your prospect rather than the needy, repulsive energy of trying to get the sale. The energetic perspective shift of this cannot be overstated. Building rapport and creating trust builds a nature of genuine connection that inspires sales to occur naturally without tactics and pressure. Skill number 2, inspiring through communication. As mentioned, a critical component of effective sales is empathy. When we have high EQ, emotional quotient or emotional intelligence, and an impressive vocabulary, it means that we will choose words to navigate a conversation in a way that is both pleasant for the receiver as well as the deliverer. You're tailoring how you're saying things and what you're saying. There are simple ways to use words that release dopamine, the motivation chemical, in your client's brain to assist them towards their desired outcome of purchasing your product. There are actually 5 magic words that do wonders in this context. The more you can use these words, the better their experience and more a positive opinion that they will have of you. The power of inspiration is that we can, through action and word, assist people in moving from their subconscious limiting beliefs towards their higher, more integrated, happier self. This powerful shift from manipulation to inspiration allows you to maximize on human psychology in a service-oriented, integral way. I love it. I love that so much. Skill number 3. This is a tough one for many people. Relational reach out. No one likes feeling like they're bothering or pestering people. When you send messages to people you know to see if they're interested in what you're offering, it can feel like you're breaking rapport instead of building rapport. Many people don't even engage in direct reach out because they fear ruining relationships, tarnishing reputation, and just coming across as annoying. These people say things like, I want to manifest all of my clients. This is perfectly reasonable because the way that most people do direct reach out is extremely annoying and impersonal. Many people. Believe it or not, there are ways to tactfully do large direct reach out campaigns without spamming people like another one of those cringeworthy, annoying online sellers. And here's a huge shocker. Don't send one massive copy paste message. Don't do that. No one reads it, and no one, literally no one, likes to receive them. Even if they're in some community group of yours, some WhatsApp group, no one likes your massive storybook messages. There is a way to communicate that allows you to develop relationships and shows that you actually care about the other person instead of just spamming them with your next offer one after another after another. Doing your reach out in this way can actually deepen connections, build trust, and rapport better. When you're reaching out with a personalized conversation, calibrated with proper persuasive language, you can determine where there are appropriate opportunities to serve the people you're talking to. The invitation to get on a call will be natural, flowing easily from the conversation. You won't have to push, prod, or persuade when you calibrate to a relational reach out strategy. Skill number 4. Dispelling fear with closing. The name of the game is closing the client so they feel excited about buying and who they will become, opposed to feeling frightened about what might happen if they don't. It's like inspirational closing versus fear closing. To close sales effectively, focus on making clients feel excited about their purchase by emphasizing the transformative benefits and personal growth they'll achieve, rather than inducing the fear of missing out. This involves empowering clients by highlighting what they gain, not what they lose, creating a vivid vision of the positive transformation awaiting them, building trust through transparency and setting realistic expectations, tailoring the benefits to each client's aspirations and needs, providing a supportive community and ongoing support as part of the purchase, using an educational approach to inform clients about the product or service, celebrating the purchase as a significant step towards their goals. This positive, empowerment-focused approach fosters a more satisfying and loyal client relationship centered around mutual benefit and growth. Can you see why this is so important? We covered, 1, the different ways we're conditioned to resist sales in business and the primary sources of sales trauma that block spiritual entrepreneurs from the abundance and service that they're deserving of. We covered number 2, a new paradigm of spiritual selling, where sales conversations can be had with integrity, service, and alignment every time, leaving both you and your prospects feeling great and not slimy. Number 3, we covered understanding the fundamental skills of sales and selling and how they can be reframed into positive, empowering experiences instead of emotionally manipulative sales tactics. So, let me ask you a question. Do you want to shift your paradigm and start applying this now? At this point, you have 2 options. Number 1, you can go at it alone and try to figure out all of this, develop a clear plan, figure out the relevant skills you'll have to learn, and execute on that plan all by yourself. You can go at it alone like you have been. Or number 2, You can get it right by being coached and directed by someone that has already done it successfully over and over for thousands of people. Which one would you prefer? Alone, by yourself, trying to figure it out? Number two, someone who's already done it a whole bunch of times. I actually had a problem when it came to offering my services as a coach. I had a problem. Working on and scaling Human Potential Academy, my time has become limited, and my fee for one-on-one coaching was becoming prohibitively expensive. People can't afford to work with me anymore. But my demand is high. I knew I had to offer something affordable where I could give people personal attention and teach them what I was teaching my one-on-one clients without the one-on-one price tag. So rather than charge the thousands that I would normally do for private clients, I finally figured out a solution for everyone to be able to learn these powerful strategies. Welcome to Compassionate Closing. The purpose of this comprehensive course is twofold. Number one, it's to help you identify and overcome the deep roots of sales trauma that are creating limiting beliefs, blocking your success. And it's to teach you the fundamental skills and psychology of sales from a paradigm of integral and spiritually aligned best practices. So, what are you going to get with the Compassionate Closing course? You're going to get my Overcoming Sales Trauma course. This is a $247 value. I designed this program specifically to address the plethora of different ways that you have been traumatized to resist selling. You're going to get my Effective Communication Masterclass. This is something I've been teaching for years. Sales is effective communication. It's not just sell me this pen. This has been a paradigm shifter for so many people that I've worked with before when they start to see that they are selling all the time and that having conversations with their clients can flow smoothly, just like regular conversations that they have with their friends. You're going to get my integral lead generation reach out system. Now, this has been amazing. Every person that I've taught this to is so mind blown by it. I can reach out to 50 people in no time at all. It's amazing. It's not slimy. It's not annoying, like these obvious copy paste messages that you don't read. It's incredibly effective. And yeah, I use it all the time. You're going to get my Compassionate Closing method. So this is where I have taken my powerful sales techniques mastered from the past and have applied a framework of compassion, not of manipulation and closing for money, but of inspiration and assisting people in making that first step towards helping themselves. This is the creme de la creme. It's helped so many people that I've worked with in my one-on-one clients. It's just an absolute game changer. You're going to get the Noble Objection Handling Framework. Most people lose their clients in objection handling. They don't understand how to go from objection handling into closing. They actually don't really understand how to handle objections at all. They get an objection and they crumble, or they get an objection, they get desperate and needy because they have no money in their bank account. The way to handle objections is actually quite simple. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. But if you don't know how to do it, it's super complicated. This one's really valuable. You're going to get the Sales Embodiment ebook. I actually have a practice that you're going to love if you're a spiritual entrepreneur of meditation and breath that I use specifically before I drop into a sales pitch. It keeps me aligned, it keeps me grounded, it keeps me focused, it keeps me compassionate, and it keeps me not needy and sketchy and desperate when I'm trying to close a sale. You're going to get my Powerful Sales 101 handbook. I made this my first year in sales, and I have used it every single year for every single thing I have sold, from a $10 product to a $100,000 plus products. This Sales 101 handbook is like your universal sales for dummies. You can use it for anything you're trying to sell anytime, no matter the price point. All of this is only $17.95. It's a $17.95 value that you're going to be getting with all of these things combined. I could have sold this all separately, but I didn't want to. My one-on-one coaching where I teach these frameworks can run up to over $3,000 per month. I've sold sales courses from $97 for basic info all the way up to $2,500 for advanced boot camp group trainings covering these same topics. Instead of charging a lot of money for personalized guidance, I created a self-guided system that can be more accessible and affordable to those who are ready to really do the work now. So who is this for? This is for spiritual coaches. Ideal for personal development coaches looking to bridge the gap between deep insights and commercial viability, ensuring their transformative work reaches a broader audience. This is for healers, perfect for energy workers, holistic practitioners, and therapists uncomfortable with the business aspect, offering tools to authentically communicate the value of their healing services. This is for spiritual entrepreneurs, suited for yoga teachers, meditation guides, and spiritual leaders seeking to balance spiritual principles with business practicalities, enhancing their mission's reach. This is for creative professionals designed for spiritually inclined artists, writers, and musicians, helping them market their purpose-driven work confidently while staying true to their authentic selves. Again, you're going to be getting my Overcoming Your Sales Trauma. You're going to be getting the Effective Communication Masterclass. You're going to learn my integral lead generation reach out system. You're going to get my compassionate closing method. You're going to get the noble objection handling framework. You're going to actually know how to handle objection and close people. You're going to get my sales embodiment ebook, a practice to drop you into the right brainwave state. And you're going to get my powerful sales 101 handbook that I have used to sell everything from a $10 product up to a multi-$100,000 product. All of this is a $17.95 value, and I have decided to offer it for only $555. It's likely that if you buy this and use these, you are going to close someone within your first month, and then it is going to cover the expense and then some, and you are going to make 100-fold the actual price that you paid for this program. If you're ready to get started and gain instant access to all the course materials that will shift your paradigm about sales and business while teaching you the skills required to master the craft of selling with integrity and alignment, click the link. You're not going to want to waste any time doing this. Like, time is money. You might as well get involved in this as soon as you can. I have designed as well 3 payments of 222. Again, you are going to easily make your money back with this. That's the thing about selling a sales program. I could charge thousands and thousands for this because the value is immediately returned. You're going to learn these skills. You're going to immediately go and make money. A big difference about selling sales program than other things is this is, you pay money, you get money. If I came to you and I asked you, hey, give me $555, I'm going to give you $5,000, you would easily do that. That's exactly the framework that you want to have around this program. You're going to pay a couple $100. You're going to make thousands and thousands and thousands and tens of thousands and tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars from the techniques in the Compassionate Closing Sales course. Again, I have used these same tactics for years and years to sell multiple different products, multiple different services at very different price points. So this is going to be universally applicable, whether you're selling coaching, whether you're selling retreats, whether you're selling practices and experiences. You're not going to want to miss out on this offer. So thank you so much for spending the time with this masterclass today. We'll see you inside the Compassionate Closing course. Again, click the link and we'll see you soon.